Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. I have my coffee and I'm all ready to go today for today's video. I really think this video is going to help you land on your type. This is the video that I wanted to do for everyone because they are so confused between a number, one number, two numbers, three numbers. Like there's a lot of confusion going on, and so I kind of want to just break it down today and get to the root, which is the why. I hope you guys liked last week's video, which was the 4-wing 5 versus the 5-wing 4, and it helped you find some big differences between those two because those two get confused for each other all the time, right? And so that was last week's video, and I hope if you were trying to decide between being a type 4 and a type 5, that one helped you. And if you still are, keep watching because today's video is for all 9 types. I'm gonna help all 9 types get down to the bottom of their why. So when trying to land on your Enneagram type, the real question to ask yourself is, what is your why? Why do you do the things that you do? Because you are going to look like a lot of other types. You are going to have behaviors in common with a lot of other types. And so that's what today's video is. Why? Why do you do it? What's motivating you? What's driving you? Why do you do what you do? That's what sets the Enneagram apart from all other typing systems. It's your why. What is driving you? Why do you do what you do? So today, let me take a little sip of my coffee. So today we are going to be going over all 9 types and their why. Being good and honorable are driving motivations for why you do what you do if you are a type 1. Ones are always seeking the best and most correct way to do things, which sometimes can look like correcting other people's mistakes, right? And so that is something that is driving them. And the last thing I'd say for the one of what's their why is the one is afraid to be wrong. A 1 thinks that this can make them look like a bad person. And so all of those things I just covered is the type 1's why they do what they do. So if you resonated with that, you might be a type 1. All right, so let's move on to the type 2. One of the biggest motivators for the type 2 is they want to be loved, they want to be wanted, they need to be needed. It is a big driver for them, and it's one of their big whys. Another why for the 2 is they want to be seen as kind and helpful. Type 2s, they want to make their world a more loving place by being supportive to those they love and care about. Another big why for the 2, a lot of times they are trying to earn love and appreciation by helping others and being there for them. The last big why, the big driver for the 2 is afraid they might not be lovable without having to do for other people. And so all of those things are the why behind the type 2. So a big driver behind why the type 3 does what they do is they want to be seen as successful by other people. A type 3's value can be tied to what they do and their accomplishments. And so that is a big driver for that type 3. Another thing is they do desire to be the best in every situation they are in. Type 3s hate negativity and will run from it, even though they can actually get a little negative themselves at times. They do not like to be in negative situations. A big one for the 3 is they hate failure. That is driving their why. They do not want to fail. A lot of times a type 3 might not even attempt something that they think they might fail at. The last big thing for the why behind what's driving the 3 is they do not want to feel worthless. In fact, when someone tells them their worth, it means a great deal to the 3. And so that is driving them. They want to be worthy. And so those are the big drivers for the type 3 behind their why. So for the type 4s, what's their why? A big one is gonna be they have a need to be authentic, special, and unique. Those 3 things are driving them a lot of time. And a lot of times they want to surround themselves with style and beauty and beautiful things. This can create certain moods and feelings for them to experience. And so that's really important for a 4. A lot of times that's what's driving their why. So a big why for the 4 is they have this desire to be different, right? And what's driving that is they are afraid that they actually might not have any significance and don't matter. And so that's what's driving their need to be different sometimes. And the last thing for the 4 is when things get difficult, they're going to want to withdraw. And so all of those things that I just shared are the big drivers behind the type 4's why. A big driver for the 5 is they need to know and they need to understand. They need to be competent and knowledgeable. Those things are driving them. They want to have everything figured out and understand their environment. And so that is a big driver behind the type 5's why. And honestly, 5s are usually in this constant state of learning and accumulating knowledge. A big thing for the 5 is they really need to conserve their energy for the things that matter the most to them. A type 5 is usually pretty self-sufficient and they will crave freedom and autonomy from outside influences. The last big driver for the 5 is they are afraid of being overwhelmed by their own needs and the needs of others. And so those are some big drivers behind why the 5 does what they do. Okay guys, I gotta move my foot. It's falling asleep. All right. We're almost done. And so if you're still with me, thank you. So let's move on to that type 6. The big why behind the type 6 is they are driven by safety and security. They are always trying to anticipate and avoid risk. Those are big drivers for them. They really pay attention to what's going on in their world, right? They're constantly looking for worst case scenarios because they're why? Because they are driven by safety and security. Loyalty and trust is very important to a type 6. Knowing that someone has their back means a great deal to them. 6s, they take privacy very seriously. And the last big thing that's driving them is they are afraid to be unprepared and unable to defend themselves from danger. And so all of those things are what's driving the 6 to make the decisions they're making sometimes. A type 7 wants to avoid feeling bored, sad, uninspired. A big motivator for the type 7 is they want to experience life to the fullest and avoid all pain if possible. And so that can be what's driving a lot of their decisions. A type 7 loves to keep their options open to new possibilities. 7s are very future focused and they really love to focus on what's next. They are just really amazing visionaries. And so that can be driving their decisions. Another thing is they are afraid to get stuck in a rut and miss out on life. And so this can cause them to have major FOMO. If you're a 7, you know what I'm talking about, right? Fear of missing out. And so those are some things that are driving the 7, all their decisions. And so that's their big why. 8s need to be in control. This drives most of their choices and decisions. They really want to be independent and not rely on anyone or anything. That is driving them. They have a big need to be strong and not show any vulnerability. 8s are quick to respond and will make decisions pretty quick, actually. They are really good at trusting their gut instinct and moving things forward. And the last thing that is behind their why is they have a fear of being powerless and vulnerable. And so all of those things can be why the 8 does what they do, what's driving them. Type 9s are motivated by their need for internal and external peace and harmony. So peace of mind, they need peace of mind. That is what's driving a lot of their decisions. A really big thing behind their why is avoiding conflict. And so a lot of times the 9 spends a lot of their energy all day long dancing around people and avoiding conflict at all costs, which would be why they're really tired a lot, is because they're constantly on alert, making sure not to have conflict with anyone. And a big reason why is because they are afraid of loss and separation from relationships. And so they think if they speak up or say their own opinion, they actually can cause conflict and lose that relationship. But 9s actually don't like to be controlled. And so when that starts to happen, they'll get passive aggressive. Again, because they think just speaking their mind can cause somebody to not want to be around them, so they can get passive aggressive at times. And the last thing is type 9s, they are at the crown of the Enneagram, right there at the top of that Enneagram, which means they can feel like all the types. They can merge with all the types. They can feel like all the types. But a type 9 won't have a strong sense of identity of their own. And so the one they feel the least like sometimes is a type 9. And so those are all the things behind the why of the type 9. And so if you really resonate with those, you might be a type 9. Okay guys, so that's it in terms of the why behind every type. I just wanted to share a few things behind why each type does what it does to help you land on your type. And if you know somebody that's struggling, or you know somebody that this video would help, guys, share this video with them. This is the most basic teaching of the Enneagram. It's really where you should start when you're learning the Enneagram. You need to learn your why. Obviously, there is so much more to each type, right? There is subtypes and wings and levels of health and all of that, which actually can make it a little bit more confusing. That's why today I wanted to just strip it down to the why. Start with the why, land on your actual type, and then you can move on to figuring out your wings and your subtypes, because a lot of times, like I'm a 9 wing 8 social, and so I can appear like a 7 sometimes and even a 3 sometimes, and there's reasons behind that. But that's when people start to get confused. And so I always say, go back to the beginning, go back to your why, what's driving you before you dig into all of those things. And if you've gotten to this point and you're like, gosh, I want more information now, this was a great place to start. I have a playlist that will take you through subtypes and triads and wings and all of those things. I'll link that right here and down below in the description box. So if you need another video to go to, that's an easy way to get there. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. I have new videos every single week. I think I'm gonna start going back to 2 videos a week. I've kind of taken a little break and only been doing 1 video a week, but I think it's time. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Are you guys ready for 2 videos a week again? And let me know what other topics you want me to teach about within the Enneagram. I mean, there's so many different things I can be teaching on. I have a long list written down, but I would love to hear from you guys. What do you guys want to see me cover in the next few months? But otherwise, we are done. See you guys next week. Bye.